This is the 2C Media Network, and this is Steve Baxley Sports Final, brought to you by the L2C Media Network. Now, with the headlines, the details on a big day in sports, here's Steve the Baxman Baxley. Thanks. Hi, how are you, everybody? Welcome to, oh boy, a fun day. Actually, it should be good evening on the West Coast, good morning here on the East Coast, as the game just ended about 1 a.m. Eastern Time. The Dodgers did what Houston did. They staved off elimination for now. That's right. There will be a Game 7 in the American League and a Game 6 in the National League, or am I twisting that around? Well, we'll figure that out tonight. Not going to be the usual hour show because of the baseball game and the fact that it ended at 1 o'clock. So, as not to disrupt our good people over at Sports Central USA, we're going to do about a 40-minute show. So let's get started, shall we? That's right. We will we start this at 1:05. We're going to end it at 1:45. Wow. Good time had by all. Anyway. And now let us talk about the two baseball games. We'll do so immediately. The American League Championship Series goes to Game 7. National League goes to a Game 6. Okay, and well, it looks like tomorrow for the National League, it's going to be an interesting weekend, my friends. Tonight, the Astros beat the Rays 7-4, 7-11-0 for the Astros, 4-6-0 for the Rays. Series is now tied at 3 apiece. Tomorrow, it's the game: win or go home, or in some cases, win and go mad. That's right. Valdez gets the victory for the Astros. He's 3-0. Snell gets the loss. He's 1-2. And Presley gets his third save. Valdez, the Houston pitcher, goes 6 full, gives up 3 hits, 1 earned run, has 9 strikeouts and 3 walks. Margot, the center fielder for Tampa Bay, goes 2 for 4, 2 runs, 2 homers, and 3 RBIs. Game that just ended immediately, about 2 minutes after 1 o'clock. The Atlanta Braves thought they could take it to its thought they were going to grab at it today, but the Dodgers had other plans. Nice little home run in the 7th inning, and that brought the Dodgers back and brought them back to today. 7-3 the final score. 7-9-0 for the Dodgers, 3-7-0 for the Braves. Atlanta now leads the series 3-2. Game 6, I do believe that'll be this evening on FS1. By the way, a little reminder to you wrestling fans out there who love to see SmackDown, you're going to have to see that on FS1. That's right. FS1 will be the home for SmackDown due to coverage of the World Series on Fox. Okay, winning pitcher was Treinen. He's 1-0 for the Dodgers. Smith gets a loss. He's 1-1. Treinen pitched 2 full innings, didn't give up a hit or an earned run. Got 1 strikeout, no walks. Sager, the Dodgers shortstop, went 2 for 4, 2 runs, 2 homers, and 3 ribs. And that, my friends, is about all there is to talk about in that lovely little game. So we're going to leave the baseball field for right now, a few moments. And let's get you some headlines very quickly. In the National Football League, the 49ers settle on a starting quarterback while Garoppolo is benched while dealing with an ankle injury. San Francisco 49ers will have Jimmy Garoppolo as their starting quarterback this week, but he isn't expected to be limited by his ankle injury either. Garoppolo was not given an injury designation for Sunday's showdown against the Los Angeles Rams after being a full participant in practice on Friday. Garoppolo was able to make his first start in weeks last Sunday, but wasn't anywhere near his pre-injury form, finishing 7 of 17 for 77 yards with 2 interceptions and a 15.7 passer rating in a blowout loss to the Dolphins. After the game, Coach Kyle Shanahan hinted Garoppolo's recovery from an injury played a factor in the decision to bench him from the second half. Garoppolo was a full participant in practice all week and is in better condition than he was last week, but that won't answer the 49ers' struggles on offense. Garoppolo has completed just 60.6% of his passes for 467 yards and 4 touchdowns on the season, playing in just 3 games. He's not near the level as he was when he took the 49ers to the Super Bowl last season, as the offense has slipped from 4th in the NFL in total yards to 21st and 2nd in points scored to 18th. Against the Rams, Garoppolo has never lost in 3 starts, even though he has thrown 3 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. The Rams have a top 5 defense in points and yards allowed, which will be a true test to see if Garoppolo's struggles are more than just an ankle injury. We'll just find out. Garoppolo starts for the 49ers this Sunday. That should be fun. I sort of miss Thursday night football. There was no Thursday night football. Anyway, okay, we'll just hit this one. There we go. Okay, some NBA news before we go back to the NFL. Some of the Clipper players report is Los Angeles Clippers crashed out of the playoffs in the second round, falling well short of their championship goals and extending their league worst conference finalist streak to a whopping 50 years. After such an embarrassing collapse, team owner Steve Ballmer believed change was necessary and parted ways with the man himself, Doc Rivers. On Friday, they found their replacement, hiring former assistant Ty Lue as their new head coach on a 5-year deal. His championship experience and familiarity with the organization were key factors in the decision, but even more important is the respect he commands from players. He showed an impressive ability to bring Cavaliers together during his time in charge in Cleveland and faces a similar situation right there in La La Land. Now, while there's no doubt the Clippers have the talent to win a title, they weren't able to put it all together, and that was at least in part because of some dysfunction in the locker room. Early in the season, there were reports of chemistry issues, and we saw those manifest at multiple points during the playoffs. While there's no doubt the Clippers have the talent to win the game, they weren't able to put it all together, and that was at least in part because of some of this dysfunction in the locker room. Early in the season, there were reports of chemistry issues, and we saw those manifest at multiple points during the playoffs. Now we have even more details about some of the things that were going on behind the scenes. Some players, including Patrick Beverley, Montrezl Harrell, and Lou Williams, were upset with the preferential treatment that Kawhi Leonard received from the organization, according to the Athletic's Jovan Bua and Joe Varden. In their joint report, in Los Angeles, there is an unquestioned A1 superstar in Leonard. His presence both instantly made Clipper treatment shown to him from top to bottom. The players like Beverly, Montrezl Harris, and Lou Williams, Clippers bedrocks before the arrival of Leonard and George, bristled when Leonard was permitted to take games off to manage his body and to live in San Diego. team also allowed Leonard to dictate to Rivers when he could be pulled from games, among other things. Lou was on Rivers' bench for all of this, but the Clippers were Rivers' show at the time. Us getting benefits other guys don't get is to be expected to some extent. The organization is going to bend over backwards to take care of you. Fair or not, that's just how it works. At a certain point, though, a line can be crossed where that arrangement starts to negatively affect other players, and that's when things start going bad. Now, based on previous reports as well as this one, that appears to be what happened with the Clippers. Quantifying exactly how much that discontent was responsible for them losing to the Nuggets is impossible, but it is clear that things were far from perfect inside the locker room. Now, it's not as simple as coming in and managing egos. Lou is a more innovative coach than Rivers and well regarded for his in game adjustment. Everyone on the same page will go a long way towards getting the Clippers over the second round hump next season, whenever that season starts. Continuing on our magic carpet ride. And once again, we're going to go to 145. So there we go. Oh boy. We got more COVID news. There we go. No, guys, we did that report. We just did that report. Can we get things right? Okay, let's get this correct. And it is good. Well, the Cleveland Browns are already facing questions at the quarterback position, entering a crucial AFC North battle with the Pittsburgh Steelers. While starter Baker Mayfield is apparently trending in the right direction, could be forced to start against the Steelers and their feared pass rush. Should Mayfield miss Sunday's Week 6 showdown, however, the Browns could be in for an even more dire situation thanks to the NFL's new COVID-19 protocols. Earlier Friday, the Browns seemingly added quarterback insurance by announcing the addition of former New York Giant backup Kyle Lauletta to their practice squad. A free agent after an offseason stint with the Falcons, the 25-year-old theoretically would have been a candidate to be called up from the scout team as an emergency backup for a Steelers game. But because new COVID protocols dictate that player acquisitions require 6 days of COVID testing before entering team facilities, however, Lauletta cannot be activated for Sunday's matchup, according to Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network. Teams rarely activate more than 2 quarterbacks on game day, so if Mayfield is in fact good to go against Pittsburgh, the Browns won't necessarily be in unique trouble. Thing is, even if Mayfield starts Sunday's game, there's reason to believe Cleveland will be cautious with its starting QB because of the nature of his injury, and any move to Keenum would mean the Browns have exhausted their quarterback depth chart for Sunday's matchup, potentially requiring the team to prepare emergency reserves elsewhere on the roster. As Pelissero predicted, this won't be the last time this issue pops up going forward. One more challenge for teams to navigate. We'll just see what happens on Sunday. All right. More sports headlines and the scoreboard will be coming up as well. And then we will be saying bye-bye. All right. Some Major League Baseball news for you, as if the AL and NLCS hasn't been that exciting, except in ratings. There seems to be a little disbirth. That has been true for a few days now. However, the Houston Astros won tonight 4-3, Game 5, 4-3 in Game 6. of the ALCS to force tomorrow night's Game 7. Houston is the second team ever to force a Game 7 after falling behind 3-0 in a best-of-7 series. Rays lefty Blake Snell labored through Game 1, throwing 105 high-stress pitches in 5 innings. He only allowed 1 run, but it wasn't easy in Game 6. Snell labored again, this time walking 3 of the first 7 batters. And running deep counts to just about everyone, he was able to get Tampa into the 5th inning with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of a Willie Adams double, however. The 5th inning started inauspiciously. Snell walked the struggling Yuri Gurriel to begin the frame. Gurriel was 4 for 38 in the postseason going into Game 6. Then allowed a ground ball single to Aldemus Diaz. With 2 on and no out, Rays manager Kevin Cash was taking no chances. He pulled Snell out and went to ace reliever Diego Castillo. Quick hooks and bullpen games are what the Rays do, but Snell, former Cy Young winner, was not happy about being pulled with 82 pitches. He was truly pissed. You can't blame him. The decision to pull Snell backfired horribly, as Martin Maldonado bunted the runners up to second and third, respectfully. Then George Springer drove that in with a single, a Jose Altuve double, a Michael Brantley walk, and a Carlos Correa single brought home 2 more runs. The Rays went from nursing a 1-0 lead to trailing 4-1 in the blink of an eye. Now, prior to the Springer double, Tampa's bullpen had stranded all 21 runners they inherited this postseason, the most ever to begin a postseason. Castillo, who had thrown 7 1/3 scoreless innings in the postseason going into Game 6, allowed 4 of the first 5 batters he faced to reach base in Game 6, with the Maldonado bunt the only exception. Bullpen decisions are ripe for second guessing, and given the current trajectory of the series, the decision to pull Snell and replace him with Castillo will be talked about endlessly. There are 2 ways to look at this. 1, Cash made a huge error. Should have shown more faith in his ace. Blame analytics. That's frankly what we do when a progressive move backfires, right? And 2, it was the correct decision. It just didn't work. Castillo has been lights out this postseason. He did not pitch in Games 4 or 5, so he was rested too, and Snell labored all night. There were 2 runners on base, and the lineup was about to turn over a 3rd time, and Snell's splits are alarming. Splits were not nearly as drastic last season, 0.671 ops to 0.730 ops to 716 ops. But the most recent information is the most relevant, and Snell has had issues going through the lineup multiple times. He walked 4 batters in 4 innings plus 2 batters and wasn't especially sharp in Game 3 or Game 1 either. This wasn't a guy dominating the Astros for the second time in the ALCS, In a short series, it's fair to wonder whether Tampa's bullpen-centric approach has diminishing returns. Castillo faced Springer and Altuve in Games 1 and 3 of the series. He faced Brantley in Game 3 as well before facing them in Game 6. They're familiar with him now. Nick Anderson was pitching for the 3rd time in the series when he gave up Correa's walk-off homer in Game 5. Right or wrong move, it's up to the players now to perform, and Castillo did not. He was gifted an out on the bunt, and the inning unraveled after that. Credit the Astros for getting the runs in and taking advantage of Cash's questionable decision. Now, should the Astros come back to win the series, that decision will be seen as an obvious turning point. Of course, that game tomorrow night should be a fun bit of a game. Well, there is some good news in college football. Well, besides the SEC going to rearrange their football schedule, we'll bring you that shortly. Nick Saban, the coach of coaches, tested negative for COVID-19 Thursday. That opens a possibility for him to coach versus Georgia this Saturday. We'll have to find out if that's going to be possible. Tried Alabama's coach Nick Saban tested positive for COVID-19 on Wednesday, which made it unlikely for him to be on the sideline when the second-ranked Crimson Tide and number 3 Georgia tee it up Saturday night in Tuscaloosa. Well, things have changed quite a bit over the last 2 days, however. Alabama Director of Sports Medicine Jeff Allen released a statement on Friday suggesting that Saban could be on the sidelines on Saturday night, given he has since tested negative for the virus twice. Now, the result and specific timing of Friday's test has not been disclosed. However, assuming he tests negative on Friday and Saturday before 8 p.m., he will be cleared to be on the sidelines instead of the couch during the biggest game of the 2020 season. Now, if one of Saban's next 2 tests does come back as positive, offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian will take over as the interim head coach for the Crimson Tide. Now, he was the head coach at Washington from 2009 to 2013 and USC 2014-2015. Saban is confident that he can handle the role. Now, Crimson Tide and the Bulldogs of Georgia will tee it up Saturday night, 8 p.m. That is the SEC on CBS Game of the Week on the full CBS television network. Oh, boy. Okay, it's 1:25. A little reminder, Nick Rekieta and Lost Blaney and the Interwebs are having their usual Friday night get-together with Drexel. They're about an hour and 26 minutes into it. So right after our broadcast, sashay over and enjoy. Nick Rekieta, Drexel, and guests tonight. As it's Friday, it can only mean one thing. Open topics. Lost Blaney, the Interwebs. Midnight to 3 Eastern on the Rekieta Law channel here on YouTube. Okay, let's get to now. We are going to give you, in fact, let's do it right now. The SEC has rearranged its football schedule. And what it is, we know. Florida is now slated to be off for 2 straight weeks amid a COVID-19 outbreak within its football program, as the SEC announced a shuffling of its schedule on Friday. The Gators were originally set to host Missouri on October 24th, but the Tigers will now host Kentucky on that date. The rearranged schedule follows the news that this week's game between the number 10 Gators and LSU was postponed after 21 players and at least 2 assistant coaches from Florida tested positive for the coronavirus, with those who tested positive isolating for 10 days and others quarantining because of contact tracing for 14 days. It was always expected that Florida Mizzou would be moved. Now here's your full slate of SEC football schedule adjustments announced by the league that have been made for this week. Kentucky at Missouri moves from October 31st to October 24th at 4 Eastern, 3 Central on the SEC network. Georgia and Kentucky moves from October 24th to Halloween at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, also on the SEC network. Missouri and Florida move from October 24th, also to Halloween at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central on the SEC Network alternate. Vanderbilt at Missouri moves from October 17th to December 12th, time and network to be determined. And LSU at Florida moves from October 17th to December 12th, time and network to be determined. Now, the October 24th game between South Carolina and LSU has changed times from 7 to 6 p.m., the league announced. As things stand now, the shuffled schedule will still allow for all 14 teams to play a full 10-game slate before the SEC championship game on December 19th. Huzzah. Due to our short time, I'm just going to condense and say hello to my friends at Facebook, Twitter, and the Gram. With all that done and said, we'll have the injury reports and everything else tomorrow night. Of course, the our friend Monsignor Rabbi Hirab Shecky Fleischman will be here tomorrow, and we'll let him do his thing. We'll, of course, total things up, and we'll tell you how everything went. Okay. Let's right now get to. Do we have any media bites? I do believe we do. Yep. Okay, let's get you some media bites as we begin. I think there's only, one media bite that we offer you here. I wish I knew. And here's Mr. Excitement. Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's a workable number, too. I can't hear you. Good. I said good. That's good, what you're doing. Well, we'll say about 7. Okay, thank you. In fact, he's actually very good at his job. One thing, I'm on the air. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. One thing you can't criticize, though, is willingness to work. With the NFL season in full swing, World Series set to begin next week, both on Fox. Buck is the nexus of Fox's main sports properties and the network's clear number one broadcaster. He's about to embark on a very, 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 very busy week, calling 7 games and 7 nights across 2 sports in 4 cities. In fact, Art Stapleton tweets the following. It's going to be a heck of a broadcasting week for Joe Buck starting Sunday. Sunday, he's got the Bucks and Packers. Monday, he's got the Bills and Chiefs. Tuesday, World Series Game 1. Wednesday, World Series Game 2. Thursday, he's got the Giants and Eagles. Friday, World Series Game 3. And Saturday, World Series Game 4. Now, that's assuming all of these games happen, of course. NFL games in particular are a very fluid situation this year. The only reason Buck has a Monday night game to call is because Bills and Chiefs was pushed back from Thursday. Now, if it all goes off as currently planned, though, and assuming Buck isn't doing any of them remotely, Buck will call Sunday's game in Tampa, head to Buffalo for Monday night, then to Texas for the first 2 World Series games at the neutral site in Arlington, then to Philly for Thursday night's Giants-Eagles game, and then back to Texas to finish the stretch. Then, of course, there is next Sunday's Game 5. If necessary, Buck will certainly be on the call for that, meaning he'll have worked 8 games in 8 days. That is obviously an impressive run, even more so than his famous 2012 day calling an NFL game and a World Series game on the same Sunday. No wonder he's going to be in the Football Hall of Fame. This man is a tough hombre, folk. Okay, and I think that is the only media bite we have for this lovely evening/day. Oh, no, we got another one. Yes. And this one is in our golf segment. That's right. After a huge rating success for the match original, then the match 2, it was inevitable that match number 3 would be involved. But this spring, as the pandemic kept most sports shut down, charity-driven version, which added Tom Brady and Peyton Manning to the mix, was a huge hit, becoming the highest-rated golf broadcast in cable history. Watching star athletes play a different sport and interact with each other, some of golf's greats and Charles Barkley on commentary made for very interesting watching. May have been worth watching just for a sight of Tom Brady completely falling apart for most of the round, only to redeem himself with a hole-out birdie during which he split his pants. Now, after the success of that version, Phil Mickelson suggested that he be very open to doing more of them going forward. Now, according to a report from Sportico's Anthony Krupe and Scott Shotnick, Phil's getting his wish. As the match 3 is in the works for November, one of the big questions for any of these is whether Tiger Woods would be involved, and if not, whether there'll be a lot of appeal to casual sports fans. According to Sportico, Tiger won't be playing, not a surprise given his health in the condensed golf calendar, but they've added the most entertainingly bad golfer possible, Charles Barkley. The action teeing off Friday, November 27th, and those that will be teeing off are 3 times Masters champion Phil Mickelson and trash-talking Pro-Am and Nationwide spokesman Peyton Manning, both of whom played in last spring's round. And joining the 2 match veterans are 3 crowned NBA champ and scratch golfer, of course, the executive producer, and one of the folks from ABC's hit show Holy Moly with Joe Tessitore and Rob Riggle and Jeannie Mai. Steph Curry, and yes, the mouth that roared for the NBA on TNT, Charles Barkley. If nothing else, the inclusion of Turner's irrepressible studio analyst should make for a diverting couple of hours of TV, even if the actual match play may leave something to be desired. The actions of Sir Charles's stroke are as ungainly as a misbuttoned shirt on the downswing. Details about the match 3, Champions for Change, were confirmed by sources involved in the logistics of scheduling the event. Turner Sports declined to comment on the matter. Well, if they keep to the team format, presumably Barkley will be paired with Mickelson against Steph and Peyton, who are really good and pretty good players, respectfully. While COVID-19 relief was the charitable goal for the spring version, this one will apparently have some different aims, including benefiting HBCUs. Aside from assuring that at least one of the new guys will shine in the best ball format on the front 9, Curry's philanthropic leanings are in sync with Turner's own altruistic philosophy, per sources who have been involved with mapping out November's event. Historically black colleges and universities, or HBCUs, are expected to be the beneficiaries of this particular charitable endeavor. As it happens, Curry has shown considerable interest in one of the nation's most preeminent HBCUs. About a year ago, the Hoops legend announced that he would fund Howard University's long-dormant golf program through the 2025-26 academic season. So while details are still being determined, it's looking very well that Black Friday will once again feature made-for-TV golf with some big names raising money for charity in what could be a very fun afternoon. There's no downside to it. Well, maybe on Barkley's angle. That is. Okay, folks, stand aside. Get ready for a hole-in-one because it's time for the scoreboard. At 11:37, we're going to make it to our cutoff at 1:45. Did I say 11:37? I'm sorry. 1:37. Now it's 1:38. So we've done the shout-outs, although grouped. It is now time to do what we do best. It is the scoreboard, and for that, we make it rain with scores, or words to that effect. Okay, let's get you some soccer, basketball, hockey, baseball, sports v sports. A little reminder, in fact, a lot of reminder.
It's so good to see you guys. Out here.
It's good to see us. Anyway, a little reminder while we're on the subjective. Let's give a little reminder, please, that hopefully we can. Thank you, boys. Can you give us a little reminder? Thank you. The AFL Grand Final is coming. We do not, however, know if the folks at Fox Sports 1 or 2 will be carrying the event live, as they say. Okay, we do have the preliminary finals coming up, or have they already been up? Just give us something here to drag this little thing out, so we can just do the scores. And thank you. We the preliminary final. Ilves over Pelicans 4-1. Tapara over Hamelina 3-2. Okay, Japanese baseball, Nippon Professional Baseball League. It was the Shibalati Marines over the Nippon Ham Fighters 5-1, 5-7-4 for the Marines, 1-5-0 for the Ham Fighters. Futaki gets the win. He's 7-2. Seguri gets a loss. He's 6-5. The Fukuoka Silverhawks over the Rakuten Golden Eagles 7-3, 7-14-1 for the Hawks, 3-6-0 for the Eagles. Moore for the Hawks gets the win. He's 5-3. Shiomi gets the loss for the Eagles. He's 4-8. Hanshin Tigers over the Yakut Swallows 5-0, 5-12-0 for the Tigers, 0-5-2 for the Swallows. Nishi gets the win for the Tigers. He's 10-4. Sayuchi gets a loss for the Swallows. He's 1-2. The Chunichi Dragons over the Hiroshima Carp 8-6, 8-13-0 for the Dragons, 6-12-2 for the Carp. Tokara gets the loss for the Carp. He's 3-7. Rodriguez gets the win for the Dragons. He's 3-4. Cebu Lions over the York Buffaloes 2-1, 2-6-1 for the Lions. 1-5-0 for the Buffaloes. Miyagawa for the Lions gets the win. He's 2-1. Yamaoka gets the loss. He's 2-5. Yokohama Bay Stars over the Yomiuri Giants 2-1, 2-8-1 for the Bay Stars, 1-7-1 for the Giants. Patton slapped the win. 3-2 is his record. Vieira gets a loss. He's 0-1. South Korean Korean Baseball Organization. Here's their deal. Samsung Lions, a 6-2 win over the Hanwha Eagles, 6-8-0 for the Lions, 2-9-0 for the Eagles. Kiwoom Heroes, a 7-4 win over the Doosan Bears, 7-13-0 for the Heroes, 4-8-1 Bears. LG Twins over the Kia Tigers, 9-0, 9-12-1 for the Twins, 0-6-0 for the Tigers. Dinos over the Giants, 6-5, 6-10-1 for the Dinos, 5-7-0 for the Giants. And the Wyverns took care of the Wiz Swan, 7-1, 7-7-0 for the Wyverns, 1-8-2 for the Swan. And guess what, folks? We're done. We're done for this week. We're done for the night. We want to say thank you, everybody, for watching. And I can't wait till we get a little microphone arm, so I won't have to worry about this thing falling. That's going to wrap it up for us. I want to thank you all very much for watching this truncated edition of Steve Baxley's Sports Final. We'll be back tomorrow night, hopefully with a regular edition. Of course, we got college football from tonight and tomorrow to talk about scores and everything. Of course, the rabbi will be here with his predictions. We'll tote up how things are going after 6 weeks with the rabbi, the Baxman, the parent, and the Uno. We'll see if Misty's luck, God rest her little barking soul, goes with Uno. So far, it has, but we'll just have to see about it. We will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel with a lot of good stuff here on Steve Baxley's Sports Final, presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports, along with YouTube. I am Steve the Baxman Baxley, always reminding you that may your favorite sports teams always win and play their best. Good night, America, wherever and whomever ye are. We'll see y'all tomorrow night. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Good night. Bye.